Yes, it's another stream for no reason at all. The Iceman has struck again. The white male eating female man. The evil white man shot that lady down for no good. She was a good girl, didn't do nothing wrong. Don't you know that? Yes, it's true. Let's see if I can get some action Jacksonation in here. Meter on. Interesting. So yeah, baby, what's up? What you doing? Waiting for people to join. Let's see. I swear I just heard frogs croaking. And first of all, I've never heard them anywhere close by where I live at. And second of all, I've never heard them in the winter. So I'm not sure what's going on right now. But that's pretty interesting. That's the highlight of my day, hearing some frogs ribbit, ribbit in the middle of the night. It's the highlight of my day so far. It's pretty cool. So, yeah, the link is there. I'm going to be doing some errand. You can join me on this tutorial of how to run an errand. Or you can come up here and we can talk about White Brotherhood. Or talk about how to run across the open intersection without stopping at a stop sign like this person just did, which is a great idea. Also a very great idea. And then skip over the open skip over the open pumps for the gasoline and go straight to the one that's not open. That's a great idea. All that rushing for waiting. I love it. Hashtag logic. Alrighty, well, I'm waiting for somebody to join this panel. We're gonna see who's gonna be doing what and do up there. Low battery. Hola, mi amigo.
Hello.
Hey, what's up? I'm live already. I don't really have any subject matter planned, but I'm just doing a show for no reason, essentially. So whatever you want to talk about, we can talk about.
Fair enough, I guess. I mean, I just joined because you invited me, so.
Thank you for coming. I appreciate it. Do you have any opinions on the whole ice thingy majiggy, or not really?
I mean, at the end of the day, people are just gonna protest, and what's that gonna do? Not much.
Yeah, that's pretty much my opinion about it. I think it's kind of like my honest first reaction. This is like the icebreaker, if you get my drift. But but yeah, I
You'll
don't
be
know.
here all night.
Huh?
I said you'll be here all night, folks.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I found it. I just found it really funny. I don't know why, but like when I first saw like the shooting of it, and I just thought it was funny, and I don't know why exactly. I just thought I don't know. It's like it's just kind of ironic. It's like this white woman who's a lesbian who has 3 kids is like out here so concerned about like brown people being in her country illegally or whatever, like that she's willing to lay her life down for this like abstract cause. I don't know. It's just kind of funny. I don't know why that's funny to me, but it is just kind of funny to me. So it just seems kind of odd, like I'm not saying that like it's not like I could see both sides of the argument, but it's just kind of like a weird like logical thing that I guess somebody finds themselves in where they're so concerned about this one issue that they're willing to just try to run over an ICE agent, and the ICE agent's like gonna so involved in his job that he's gonna go and get in the way of the car or whatever. It's just I don't know. It's kind of bizarre, in a lot of ways. And I notice now, like they're saying, well, he has a Filipino wife. He must abuse her or beat her because he's a Nazi, even though he's like married to an Asian woman or something. I don't know. I'm just like the semantics of everything is very. It's almost like a cartoon or something. I don't know.
It's basically an episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Not,
I've never
not
seen
with.
that show. So what do you mean?
I mean, it's just comically absurd. The everything. It's just comically absurd to the most extreme level, and like, what do people do? They'll protest, yeah, but I mean, to what end? I mean, there's 3 more years of Trump. If he's really so bad, you just got to worry about who could be worse. But if he's not that bad, you got to work. You got to think about who could be better. And I mean, if that's who they're gonna blame it on, fine. But it's not like he's the one cause of everything. You know, it's
Yeah,
just
I think it's
counterproductive.
yeah. It's kind of funny because like I think Trump derangement syndrome was real, but I also thought that like Joe Biden derangement syndrome was kind of real too because like I definitely don't like the government or anything in general, like in general terms, but like there's some things that Joe Biden did that I kind of like, okay, I kind of like could see where you would get this idea from, or like I could see that like it doesn't really impact me in a negative way, or a lot of other people in a negative way. I mean, for instance, like my health insurance was like very cheap under the last administration, and now like my health insurance has gone up exponentially a lot more for no apparent reason, right? And I'm like that's kind of interesting, like so like on that kind of level, like I definitely don't like Trump on the and I mean, to be honest with you, I think like having an actual fascist dictator would be kind of interesting. Like it would break up the kind of BS of like left and right, or so like I think it's kind of funny that everybody's like, he's a fascist, he's a this, he's a that. It's like, I mean, I kind of wish he were. It'd be more interesting than this kind of like ridiculous over exaggeration of everything. Like, everything somebody does is like pure evil. I think it kind of cheapens the whole, argument. And I mean, at least to me it does. I don't know. I could be wrong, but that's just how I feel about it.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, I guess if he is going to be a fascist, we'll have to wait 3 more years. But I mean, he'll be mid 80s then. I don't think he'll, last.
Yeah, exactly. Like they're like this 80-year-old man is like an extreme dictator. He has total control over the America. He took Venezuelans government or whatever. Like I don't know what that's about.
I don't know. I just applied the same logic to Biden as him. It's like, well, if Biden was a senile old man, what's the difference between this senile old man? It's not really worth the time. Like, it's like I it would be sort of to the end that Nick Fuentes does it, except it's like more just like without that, because there's really no need to go by what they're saying, what like politicians say and stuff, because frankly it doesn't fucking matter, at least on a general level. like like it might make the health insurance skyrocket, but if you're not unhealthy, why do you need health insurance? I mean, that's a very minimizing thing to say, but it's like, if you're not stupid, why do you need all this stuff to rely on? And it's just just existing without the government is pretty easy. It seems more like a hassle to exist caring about it, and it's
Well, well, yeah. I mean, pretty much like if I had to say like my one political position, like if I had to say I'm just one, I definitely am an anarchist in principle. But like I think like if we're gonna have a government, then it should basically like just do practical things to make my life better, right? And
yeah,
you know, so that's kind of the way I look at it.
exactly. But it's not really like it's not doing that, so I can understand the frustration. But at the same time, it's like, you just don't. If you just don't go by it, it doesn't have any power. Mind you, this is a supposed democracy, so by definition, if you just don't, it's the Timothy Leary ideal. If you tune in but you drop out, it should bend to your will. But you know, I guess
That,
that's not really
but that's not
noticed.
but that's not happening either. That's not. But and that should be working to see like I'm not a really like deadhead kind of guy, but I do think that like in general, people not giving power to the government would fix a lot of things, but also I think a lot of this kind of performative stuff going on where everyone's like LARPing, like my protest will make the government listen to me, or me chanting in the street, or me doing a bunch of methamphetamine every day, or whatever, what I mean, like whatever this new generation's trying to do, it just seems so like, yeah, gay in like an old school way. Like it's just so inept. There's nothing to it. It's just I
Well,
want to
well,
feel good, so I'll just pretend that I've done something, or I don't know. It's kind of weird to me.
well, there's something interesting to that, because there's the whole concept of, there's so much fatigue of everything, and then I'm reading this book that I have as my avatar here, Might is Right, and it's, there's the paragraph saying, quote, mankind is aweary of its sham prophets, its demagogues, and its statesmen. It crieth out for kings and heroes. It demands a nobility that cannot be hired with money like slaves or beasts of burden. The world awaits the coming of mighty men of valor, great destroyers, destroyers of all that is vile, angels of death. We are sick unto nausea of the good Lord Jesus, terror stricken under the executive of priest, mob, and proconsul. We are tired to death of equality. Gods are at a discount, devils are in demand. He who would rule the coming age must be hard and cruel, and deliberately intrepid. For softness assails not successfully the idols of the multitude. Those idols must be smashed into fragments, burnt into ashes, and that cannot be done by the gospel of love. Unquote. And I guess where that's relevant is sort of that, for one, the fatigue that's just that keeps getting noted everywhere, and then there's the fact that you have two different sort of sides coming together in this generation you mentioned, and it's interesting how that's working, because one side is in fact sick unto nausea of the good Lord Jesus, and the other is sick unto nausea of the sham of equality, but with the good Lord Jesus. And where that intermixes, they suddenly seem to level out in most every way except for certain social regards. And that's sort of fascinating because even in the 60s where there was, the Weather Underground and the youth movement of, you know, as a reaction to the Vietnam War and for the civil rights movement, but there was never that unification on something like, you know, a certain foreign agency lobbying. I'm not going to say. I have my phone right in front of me. I don't want it to explode. They have noses and funny hats.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, it's no, and it's kind of funny because like I said, I am a Christian, right? But uh, like I actually want to read that book, Might Makes Right, because here's the thing: is like almost every political and philosophical argument being had in the public discourse, the at the root of it, it's rooted in might makes right, and so much effort is put into the fact to cover that up, right? And I think that's hilarious. It's almost like it's actually like one of the best jokes ever. Is like if everybody's just arguing like I want to fucking kill you because you disagree with me, but they just do everything they can not to say that. Like that's kind of funny. You know what I mean? Like I don't know why, but that's just kind of funny.
Well, it's ironically somewhat of a misinterpretation of the idea of might altogether, because might in of itself is momentary. It's sort of like love, and it's not necessarily disconnected from that either. It's a fleeting sense of power that it's kind of, like love. It's a drug. You need to keep feeling it, like, get that high. It's not a perpetual thing. And that's sort of what's going on with, you know, there's certain things that are trying to get that moment of might consecutively, and it's sort of failing because people are sort of realizing, wait, that's not real. This certain guy is funding that group that bombed them and took hostages. What? That's crazy. It's sort of a performance, like the Venezuela thing. Like watching that, and even watching the lady get killed by the ICE agent. It's like, okay, it seems almost like a performance all around. Like it's not real might. It's just, you know it's setups to make it appear as if there's might. Because I mean, what's the U.S. There's the George Carlin bit. The U.S. is overdue to start bombing some small country without um, a military that can do against it. And it's like, well, yeah, that's might, but at the same time, it's like, where's the actual valor in that? Like the U.S. could have captured Maduro whenever they had him. It was a pure performance. There's no might in it, to say the least. But who knows? Maybe they're gonna come out with a really cool Call of Duty game in like 50 years based on all this. I doubt it, though. It's not that cool. It's kind of mundane. I mean, the 1970s was more interesting than this. Probably the disco. Probably the disco. Oh, and I'm the only one here now. Wonderful. It's not even my stream. Um, well, I'm reading Ovid's Metamorphoses as well. I guess I can read from that. I don't know. I'll just fill in till Neurojack gets back on. I don't know. Um, Mercury shortly was on the wing with his wand in hand. In the course of his flight over Athens, Minerva's favorite city, he saw Menician fields and the groves of the learned Lyceum. I don't know. I'm not going to read that. I don't feel like it. This isn't my stream. Neurojack can do it himself. I'm going to Auf Wiedersehen.
Hello, evil one. Hello, evil one.
So, what mental health disorder are we exposing today?
All of them. Can we get a psychologist up in this bitch?
Well, I'm sure it's not hard to become one.
I had a Satanist up in here before, and unfortunately, I lost service, so they had to leave. So I'm kind of sad about that.
Is it one I know or a new one?
Oh, I'm
I'm trying to get them back, but I just
I'm just saying
went,
it's not Jeff or Twilight.
no, it's not one of them. I mean,
Oh.
I think we know. I think we know quite a few. It's just those are the ones that like are open about it. But this is a new one that's also open about it. So, but I don't know. She. Oh, all right, she's coming back. Cool. Claudia's coming back. Hell yeah. No, if you want to know about Satanism, this is a person
Oh,
that
Claudia. I know Claudia.
yeah, you need to talk to this person because they were going into some deep shit. So I was really happy they were here. So because they know their shit, and because we were talking about the ICE agent and stuff. What you think about the ICE agent getting getting in trouble for popping a cap in our ass? Like who's the big
Oh, wait,
Charlie?
are you asking my actual opinion?
I mean, or just like a funny opinion. I mean, either one.
I mean, I hate to say it, but I mean that's kind of what you get for like going out there and interfering in the literal program that's meant to keep your country safe from domestic, well, not domestic, well, domestic and foreign terrorists. But I mean, just me personally, I mean, while it sucks, I mean, maybe you shouldn't have been out there, in the middle of the street in the first place when ICE is in deployment. I mean, it's kind of stupid, but you know, uh,
I don't know. I
but
just thought it was really
also
funny for a lot of reasons.
even someone who hasn't had a lot of tactical training, whoever that guy was is just a fucking idiot and seemed like he was wanting to get drug another 60 feet. So
Well, I'll tell you this, like,
it's a psyop
I don't
anyway.
know. I wouldn't stand in front of a car regardless, ever. But you know what I mean. But at the
You're
same
not
time, like,
supposed to. He didn't follow
well,
at least two different types of protocol. One of the biggest protocols in law enforcement and stuff is you don't stand in the front of a fucking 2 to 3
well,
ton vehicle.
well. See what happened. See, but if you watch the body camera, I just put it up on my channel, on one of my channels. Um, the lady's girlfriend was on the other side, and she got out of the car. So he was on the other side dealing with her because they were trying to like get them to like stop. They had been following them like basically cutting them off in traffic multiple times. Or that's the way it seems, right? And then this lady got out of the car, and then she was jumping back into the car, and then he went around the car to tell the driver stop or something like that, right? And then as he went around the car, the lady hadn't even got in the passenger seat, and she just started taking off into him. So it really looks like she just was trying to floor it and run him over. You know what I mean? So it really looks like, for her case, it looks really bad. Like, it looks like she was literally trying to kill the dude. I mean, at least that's what it looks like to me. So like, it doesn't look like he was doing that, it doesn't look like he was just standing there for no reason. Like, he was kind of dealing with an issue on the other side of the car and like went around for whatever reason. I don't know, but it's a pretty weird situation for sure. If I lose service, by the way, just stay there because I'll get service back in a minute. Okay. Because I'm going through the hood over here.
All right.
because other people should be joining in a minute here too. So, but yeah, I don't know. It's pretty. You watch the video I put up. It's pretty crazy. I'll send it to you later if you don't see it. But it's like it looks like the dude was literally, just literally just trying to like do their job, and this bitch like ran in front of them. Now, does that mean she deserves to get executed? No. Like, I can tell you this, like, if somebody tries to run me over, like, I mean, there's a good chance they're gonna get shot. I mean, I'm just saying, like, hopefully that never gets used against me. But I mean, I'm just saying, like, if somebody tries to literally run me over, whether I'm a cop or not, I mean, it's like, I don't know, like, it seems like as far as I can tell. I mean, it's a much better case than a lot of other things that I've seen for sure. Like, the body cam footage looks very damning for her that she was trying to kill him, pretty much, or at least trying to, like, hurt him or move him out of the way or whatever. But I mean, if you're driving a car towards somebody, I mean, I think you can definitely prove like intent to bodily harm or kill some, or maybe like attempted murder or something. But Claudia, welcome back. If you don't mind repeating some of what you said about might makes right, about how it's a fleeting thing, I think that's very interesting. I wanted to make sure I heard you. Unfortunately, my internet was going out, so.
Well, might is momentary. It's sort of like love. It's a fleeting. It's sort of illusory. It's in the sense that it's like drug, and it's like love, and it's often not disconnected from it either. Might is sort of it's of the moment. It's like an orgasm. It's a fleeting sense of power. Not it's not it's to sustain until you can get the next hit of the drug, basically. It's not perpetual. And even with this, like this woman in Minneapolis, or the Venezuela thing, it seems like a performance almost, how it's depicted. I mean, especially with Venezuela, that's an absolute performance on display. It's not exactly might. It's like the old George Carlin bit where it's like, isn't it about time we start, you bombing a country with a smaller air force than ours, just for the sheer display of, military might. I wouldn't say that's might. I'd say that's visualized valor for, pulling the pathos.
Well, it kind of reminds me of the distinction between like master and slave too, where like people think that it's just like one person's the master, one person's the slave, but masters still are like somewhat ruled by their slaves, right? Like it's never like a complete one way all the way. I mean, maybe
Yeah,
you could argue like very certain circumstances, perhaps for a brief moment, but there's always a power play
yeah,
within these
that's
kind
the
of relationships.
yeah, Matthias Desmet in his book, The Psychology of Totalitarianism, really goes into that quite well.
So I guess like who wrote the book Might Makes Right, by the way, or I can't remember the exact name, but who
It's
wrote that book?
pseudonymously written under the name Ragnar Redbeard. It was likely a New Zealander named Arthur Desmond who published it out of Chicago in the 1890s. The original manuscripts can be found at the University of Chicago Press. It was pretty much dead for most of basically a century, and then it kind of got revived in the 90s.
By LeVay, right? LeVay popularized it, if I remember correctly.
No, so LeVay lifted from Might is Right. The first few pages of the Satanic Bible are direct transcriptions from the book, sort of like the greatest hits of it, so to say, in terms of blasphemy. But LeVay didn't repopularize it. I mean, there were sort of hushes about it, like when Xena and Nicholas were on Bob Larson. Bob started quoting something, and Xena was like, "That do you know who Ragnar Redbeard is?" But and then Boyd, but it was first repopularized it was republished by Shane Bugby, who was given a copy of Might is Right by George Eric Hawthorne of the
Okay.
band Hoa.
Yeah, I got him. Yeah, I got that mixed up because I knew Bugby had some hand in it, but I couldn't remember the time frame. So okay, thank you for clarifying that. Cool. That makes more sense. Cool. Okay, because I was just confused on the timeline for whatever reason. I thought that I thought that LeVay had like published it, but it's actually Bugby who had published it. So that actually makes more sense. All right, cool.
Yeah, so he
Um,
got a hold of the book and then he sent it to LeVay and was like, "Here, do the foreword for this, because you took from it for the Satanic Bible."
Yeah, and my friend Lorp here, if you have any questions about Satanism, this is like one of the main experts you should ask a question to, I would say, but that I know. So I was going to ask you, but I was going to ask you this question, if you don't mind. So, because and please just talk about whatever you want, but this is something I've been having thoughts on with everything going on. And do you have any particular opinion about Michael Aquino and the Temple of Set or anything like that, or not really?
I mean, I think they're kind of interesting. I mean, Michael Aquino was in the Church of Satan, yeah, and he did publish a giant book on his version of the history of it. How reliable that is questionable. I mean, it's a pretty extensive book with a lot in it. But he was also a Fed, and he's the guy who wrote the literal mind war tactics for, the military. And, I mean, the Temple of Set he made, he didn't go to Egypt. I mean, at least Crowley had been to Egypt. I mean, in a sense, he's sort of in every way a knockoff Aleister Crowley. But it's interesting. I don't place much on him in terms of the Temple of Set. I mean, there's not much to it other than some interesting websites that are hidden by domain passwords. Other than that,
what about shit? Who's the other person? Robert Anton Wilson and Discordianism.
I mean, I've read some of his stuff. I don't know all too much about it, so I can't really say all that much on it. Yet I do want to read more of him, but just sort of whenever I get around to it.
Yeah, and I'm just asking that for a couple reasons, just because, like, I can see the influence of someone like him in the general political discussions right now, and I think I don't know how deep that is, but I think there's reason to believe it's a lot deeper. And it's just like LeVay. Like LeVay is also very. I think it's like Aleister LeVay.
Blavatsky.
Blavatsky. A lot of these satanic figures or whatever. Like they're a lot more influential. Even Bugby, I think, is way more influential than people really want to realize. If that makes sense. There's other people I don't want to name because I'm a little bit more concerned with them than others. But the other Satan guy, you know who I'm talking about. But
does he have? Does his name sound like Noid Nice?
No. Well, I'm not scared of. I mean, I don't have any. I don't know enough about him to be scared. But I would say like the other TST people. You know what I mean? I'm more concerned with them because I think they're a little bit more disingenuous. I would say, as far as I can tell. I mean, in my opinion. But.
I mean, just having written the book on them helped with that. I wouldn't care too much about them. They kind of got discredited a while ago. I mean, some people take them seriously, but aside from maybe like 13-year-olds that are just getting into things at this point, I'm not really sure who's into them.
Yeah, well, I definitely get a sense.
It seems like that group kind of split off into like independent groups that give the same mantra but are opposed to the, sort of parent organization that started it for them, but it's not really much of anything.
Right. No, that makes sense to me too. So, yeah. Yeah, I definitely have mixed feelings on it. I mean, because I don't really know a lot, but I think his background at like Harvard and sleep studies and stuff like that, like the way he writes about certain subjects, from what I've gathered,
Have you read the old process.org blogs?
I haven't directly, but I've listened to people who've deeply looked into that, and I think that's kind of one of the connections that I'm kind of alluding to that concern me, because that's a little bit more of a
the funny thing is for as obsessed with Doug was with the process, Timothy Wiley never liked him.
Well, I can see why, because he doesn't. He seems that he has like ulterior motives. Like, the thing is this, like, the process. I don't know a lot about it, but I'll put it this way: like, if somebody's a true like cult and they truly believe in what they're doing, I can respect that more than if somebody's like adopting it for like pseudo political or clandestine, like spy versus spy shit. If that makes sense. Does that make sense? Like, I think that's a little bit more. And I think that's happened so many times with like these other organizations where people just come in and like rep the set, I guess you'd say, and they're doing that because they're really just feds or something, and they're just basically they're not really anti-establishment at all. They're actually like extremely status quo, and they're just really just trying to confuse people so the status quo actually doesn't change or something. I don't know. Maybe that's my simple-minded Christian view of it, but I don't know.
Program to Kill, Dave McGowan.
Yeah, I haven't read that full thing yet. My friend here did send me that book, and I've skimmed a little bit of it. What do you think about that in reference to what we're saying?
Well, I've also only skimmed it, but there's some interesting intelligence connections with the process that would certainly lead to a lot of suggesting that it's more than just, this misunderstood cult from the 60s. I mean, after all, they are now the largest no-kill animal shelter in North America. So
Exactly. Yeah. Well, and this is, and the truth is, like, I get a sense that they never really went away.
They didn't. There's a whole thing called Process Alpha around.
Well, what's it called?
Process Alpha.
Never heard of that one before. That's a new one for me.
Yeah, there's this. It's a weird. It's a weird culture with that whole thing. I would say Rotting Jewels on Twitter is kind of good to get a good overview on that.
Well, that's how I found out about a lot of this, is from her, because her analysis kind of like filled in a lot of gaps in my own research, where I was like, I kind of heard of the process, I kind of heard of some of these other things, but I couldn't really see the connection. And she's been a big part of it, but it also goes deep into like what Machine talks about and other people have talked about, where it's like it's kind of like you have like this weird like Gnosticism thread that goes through all of it, but then it's not like the Church of Satan, where it's a little bit more straightforward. It's like this kind of like weird pseudo cult, non-cult.
They're a spinoff of Scientology that should explain all the weirdness.
Well, that's the yeah. Well, that's the big thing. Yeah, it's like I mean, I'll tell you like this. Like, I think if somebody's going to make one argument against Trump right now about how what he's doing is weird, it's like you got this weird evangelical Scientology cult around him. So it's like Scientology merging with Christianity. And that's what concerns me about Trump, right? But you don't see that many people really bringing that up. So,
well, Scientology has never been explicitly at odds with Christianity. I mean, Scientology got their tax exemption revoked for the first time because they were like, yeah, you can be Buddhist Scientologist, you can be Christian Scientologist, you can be whatever Scientologist, sort of an interesting tactic. And then, after, with the process, that seems sort of like the actualized concept of that, because the process is just this absolute mindfuck cosmology of like bastardized Christianity, pseudo Gnosticism, weird implications of Thelema, and it's mixed with whatever the fuck Marianne de Grimston was cooking up for her, those weird fucking escapades they were doing.
Well, what's interesting too is like, and I went down this little rabbit hole, and again, like I'm kind of going off on a tangent, but so feel free to like pull it back. And Machine, if you're there, feel free to jump in, and also Lorp, because I don't want to get too weird and esoteric, but I kind of do too. Like, like it's
I
like,
mean, we could go into Tracy Twyman if you want to get weird and esoteric.
oh, so I've looked a little bit into her, and honestly, like, I'm kind of scared to go too deep, because I definitely think she was killed for whatever she was talking about. But but she was like really looking at like the ground floor level of a lot of this. But yeah, definitely we can go there. I mean, there's probably people watching my show that are more aware of this than they'd like to admit. So maybe they'll get a kick out of it. The only thing I was going to say before we go that way is I was going to say, like what's weird about the whole process and Scientology is like, remember like Sonny Bono, for example, like Sonny Bono and like Cher and like the Mamas and the Papas and the Rolling Stones. All these people have like a very close tie to the process and Scientology, and their kids are like these like weird like spy agents. Like, you remember the guy from That 70s Show who got in trouble for rape, and then also Ashton Kutcher, who girlfriend mysteriously died under strange circumstances. And you kind of catching my drift here. There's like a lot of weird connections with like this little like strange network of Scientology. They're very, very, very strategically placed in like certain music scenes, certain entertainment scenes. Like James Cameron's ex-wife is like, I don't know for sure, but like I have a strong feeling that she's definitely very aware of like the Process Church and stuff like that. Because if you look at her body of work, she's definitely alluded to a lot of this stuff, in my opinion. And I didn't realize it until recently. So I watched a lot of the stuff that her and James Cameron had done, like Terminator and Avatar and all this stuff. If you really kind of look at the underlying, plot of a lot of the stuff, I think there's an argument that it's like very Process Church or something like that related. And I think people like Marilyn Manson are also kind of aware of this stuff too, personally, and that's a whole other rabbit hole, But
I mean,
I'm not saying
he writes about it in The Long Hard Road to Hell. He has one of their statues or something.
Oh, really? Well, that actually
Yeah.
so that actually like backs it up, because I mean, because I've never looked that deep at Manson. Like, I respect Manson because I think he's told the truth about a lot of shit. And but this network that he's in is kind of connected to like Kanye West, Nick Fuentes, Tim Pool. There's like a lot of weird people that you wouldn't expect that are kind of in his orbit. So that's kind of where I'm coming from. And again, it's interesting to me because nobody's really noticed it, except, I mean, that I've seen, at least. And I just find that very curious. It's like, I don't know exactly what's going on with that, but
I mean,
let's go to the Twyman thing if you want, or what do you think about my theory, I guess?
sorry, my mic cut out for a second. What?
Oh no, I was just saying we can go whatever direction you want. We can go like the Tracy Twyman, or if you want to like give me your opinion on my like theory about the processes like influence in these kind of like weird psyop networks around like Alex Jones and Manson and Marilyn Manson and Tim Pool and Damian Eccles and stuff like that. Like, there's a weird like thread between all these kind of people who are kind of doing political commentary. I would say, like Manson stays out of politics, but you get my point. Like, I think a lot of these people have kind of like got in his circles, and I have evidence of it, but I don't want to get into it. But I think if people look close enough, they'll see there's like a pretty close connection to all these people.
Yeah, I guess that you also have to consider how much of it is connection and how much of it is just cult of the celebrities. 6 degrees of separation, everyone knows everyone after a certain point. And how much
Sure.
of the influence is underlying and more unsaid and I guess manipulated rather than actively done to the people. I mean Manson was recently the not victim, the target of a coordinated hoax. So it's not like those things can't happen within those networks. It's just sort of like
Well,
who in them is malicious enough to be set off to do something like that.
Well, see, this is one of the things I'm getting at. So, like, for example, some of the people that were defending Manson, because, like, from what I've gathered about Manson, who knows, but I definitely don't think he was guilty of what he was being accused of, or at least it was not as cut and dry as they were trying to make it out to be. And I think what some of the people that were defending him have now suddenly like gotten very big, because I watched them when they were very early on, and they got very close to people like Tim Pool and also Damian Eccles, and this whole thing that happened between Johnny Depp, Amber Heard, Elon Musk was very involved in that as well. So you see what I mean? Like, there's a very close little connection between these kind of like different things. Like, if you look at what Johnny Depp was involved in, River Phoenix dying, and Anthony Kiedis' dad was like very close friends with the quote unquote drug dealer of the Rolling Stones and stuff like this. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's a very close connection between all these people that kind of tie back to like, well, the small-hatted people and also the process church. And I think you kind of get what I'm getting at, right? Like, it's not that far disconnected. And what's the guy who did Gonzo journalism? What's his name?
Hunter S. Thompson.
Hunter S. Thompson, exactly. Yeah, he was involved in that too, apparently. So you see what I mean? Like, there's this kind of weird, like, little troop. And Damian Eccles is one of those people where I could never quite figure out, like, why was he so important to people like Johnny Depp or this kind of case that's going on, the Memphis. I mean, not Memphis, but that like Odinist murder that happened, the Delphi murders. There you go, the Delphi murders or whatever. And also you have the Idaho case, and I think even like, I don't know. I think there's some other cases like that where there's this kind of mysterious killings that happen, and then these kind of networks come out and say like it's satanic panic, but then it's like there is something going on, but they're trying to like cover it up or something. I don't know, because like I don't really know that. I think a lot of the cases that they promote as satanic ritual abuse are not, but then I think there is people that are doing stuff under the banner of SRA or something, where like there is something to it, but they don't talk about it in the news. So that's kind of that's what I'm trying to get at. Is like, and if you're saying the process is tied to the government, that might be the reason why they don't want to cover certain aspects of it, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, though I guess speculatively it could be cases of multiple competing interests, not just like one angle. Like, there's different groups. Like, this is just one pocket of people out of who knows how many dozens someone like Elon Musk or Kanye West is connected to, or Marilyn Manson per se. Like it's little bubbles of things. Because I mean, Kanye West is in the same bubble as Nick Fuentes. Meanwhile, Kanye West is also in the same bubble as like Marilyn Manson, as you said. But then that also puts him in, a completely opposite bubble of what Nick Fuentes would be in. So, it's kind of like the interests are competing, but to what end, who knows?
Right, right, right. No, that's a really good point because that's one of the reasons why like I look at Nick Fuentes as a very unique person because he kind of bridges a lot of these different networks together, right? And people say, well, he's just a Nazi or he's just racist or he's just this or he's just that. It's like clearly there's a little bit more sophistication going on with it. And I definitely see a lot of strange Scientology related groups now courting him. And it's kind of weird because I've now heard people like Sam Hyde openly talking about Scientology being a lot more dangerous and open, and I was kind of surprised by that. But there seems to be some people who are kind of like now actively kind of saying like Scientology is dangerous or something. So I don't know. There seems to be some sort of movement kind of bubbling up about that now. So I'm kind of surprised.
Tom
be honest
Cruise
with
has a few movies coming out this year that might have something to do with it.
What do you mean? That's interesting.
Yeah, he's got like 3 movies or something. I was seeing that new Avatar movie the last week, and there were like 3 different movies with Tom Cruise starring in it. Who knows?
Well, what's interesting is I did a movie breakdown like maybe a year ago of not the latest Mission Impossible that just came out, but the one before that. I used the AI to like break down the occult meaning behind that movie because they kept saying certain words like dragon's egg and certain like little hints, and it seemed to be very much based on like Thelema or something like that. And it actually makes sense, obviously, if Scientology was written by L. Ron Hubbard. L. Ron Hubbard had some sort of connection to Thelema and stuff like that. So, but yeah, a lot of that movie did seem to have like very kind of overt, I would say Crowleyan overtones to it. So I think that's very curious. It's like they make it seem like a big action movie, but if you kind of understand the Kabbalistic or Crowleyan or Thelema kind of related themes of it, it's obviously a lot more sophisticated than just a random action movie about shooting people up or something.
I guess it would depend on how much you want to interpret it. I mean, I would be kind of less pressed to say Fast and Furious is anything but sort of just like a numbing agent, if anything, for some sort of control, because it's how many
Oh,
movies? 17 movies in or something?
well, sure, but I mean, I will put it like this: like, obviously, if like let's say that there were Thelemites who were running parts of Hollywood or parts of the tech industry. Hypothetically,
fun
I'm still
fact-
sure it's not actually real, but let's just assume for the sake of argument, right? Sorry, go ahead. What were you gonna
I was going to say, well, the Thelemites tend to be more towards the space agencies, but yeah, go on.
say? Yeah. Well. So what I was gonna say is, like it would make sense if they were involved in certain, either psychological operations or making movie or making media, that they would make a ritual out of it and like put their rituals into the movie, so it would kind of like I don't know what you call it, but like put their sigils on the movie or something or whatever
Kind of
they
like
do.
a black metal band calling their performance a ritual.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I mean, because I don't know enough about this stuff to like say it for sure because I don't know what exactly that looks like. Like I've looked at like Memphis what do they call it? Like Memphis Mizraim rituals and stuff, and like how they do like the acting out of the rituals, and it kind of reminded me of a movie, like how people like think it looks silly, and I guess it does. It looks like a bunch of kids like wearing like some cheap polyester costume to like and like some jewelry that's like from the party store or something. But I can see the power in it because I did a little like acting in school, for like little plays when I was really young, like under 12 years old. And there is something very powerful about just acting out like some, uh, you know, story about like King Tut or whatever, you know what I mean, or about some book you read, right? It makes it more real than just reading the book or telling the story, you know, because now you're like kind of acting it out and like making it funny, so then people feel like it's interactive or whatever, you know what I mean? So I don't know. I think that's like I'm just saying, like if I were a ceremonial magician, like why wouldn't I put my ritual into the movie or something, right? I don't know. I'm just going off the top of my head, and I don't because I don't know what the Church of Satan says about ritual. Like the people that I know who are like hardcore Luciferians, they say that like it's only about the ritual because you're trying to like do internal alchemy or something. So it's not about like talking to a demon per se. It's more about like getting in touch with your inner self and like something like that. I don't know exactly like what they're
There,
trying to say, but
well, I mean, in a sense, when television came out, it was just a box that you had in your house, and then there's the implication from 1984 of the telescreen watching you from inside your home as you watch it. But and I mean that came true. I mean, I'm on a phone. That's exactly what that is, a miniaturized TV. And there's sort of the idea that TV is God because you know, I guess it's sort of a Partridge Family Temple continued idea, but everything is sort of TV. I mean, if you watch any shows, it's the same characters over and over again, just different names and different faces, but it's the same archetypes and it's the same patterns. And typically, every character in a show you can probably relate someone or yourself to. And I don't think that's accidental. It's very much engineering in the Edward Bernays sense of the word, propaganda, and kind of like that Simpsons episode where it's like join the Navy backwards. Um, you know, it TV can be used to pretty much pioneer whatever you want after a certain point. I mean, that's how everyone gets their information is little TVs.
well, I like the story that TV was invented trying to like contact spirits or some shit. You know what I mean? Like I love that aspect of it too. You know, where it's like they were trying to like create something to like I guess summon the spirit into like the project cathode ray tubes or something, or I don't know what the hell they were doing, but
I mean, they kind of got that. I mean, if you put your TV onto just static, it's the universal background radiation that you see popping amongst
oh
the
really?
other waves. So,
Well, that's definitely one of the creepiest parts of the Poltergeist movie is like that static on the TV and stuff, and I kind of miss those days of like a fuzzy rabbit ear TV. You know, like it was a very different experience than what we get today. Like there's something very different about watching a live radio signal coming to your TV and like tuning it. Because I did that when I was really young, like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You know, a little bit like up until I was like 10 years old. But there was a very like I would say like always felt it was very like spiritual. You know, like you're kind of tuning in. Like, and that's one of the nostalgia things for me as an older person. Like, there's nothing that you can do that replicates that feeling of like tuning a TV to like pick up the signal or tuning a radio of like a lot like for sure like it's an actual person like beaming it to you. I guess like this kind of call is kind of like that, but because like we're actually on a call, we assume we're all people and stuff. So I think that's one of the reasons it's addictive because it kind of like replicates that tuning in and getting a signal from another human being that's halfway across the world potentially or something. But
video killed the radio star and podcast killed the video star.
yeah, that's true. That's true. And I think that's kind of why they're pushing everybody to like tell their own story. I'm gonna write some articles on this soon, just to like flesh out my own thoughts on it. But yeah, it is very weird. And you're younger. I know that you're a lot younger than probably most of us on the screen. So it's kind of interesting to get younger people's perspective on it because you never really had like a rate like you never like listened to the radio and like taped it, and you never like had like a TV with rabbit ears, I'm guessing, or something. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, I
or
mean, I had all those things. I did
like
all those things. So
Oh, you did? Okay, cool. So you're like
Yes.
a retro kid. Cool. That's cool. That is pretty cool. I wouldn't expect that.
I mean, it's just a fact. The audio on a phone is compressed, and if you play a CD, it's the full audio. It's better.
Right. Yeah, that's true. That's one of the things I miss about my CD is I used to listen to CDs a lot, and the CD quality is so much higher. But I don't have a CD player anymore, so I have like 400 CDs at home that I haven't really played in a long time because I don't really have a full music system the way
Just
that
get
we
a
used to.
fucking Walkman.
Where do you
Just get
find a Walkman?
They're like $5 at Walmart or something. I got one for pretty good price.
Nice. Well, if you ever see one of those deals online, let me know because I've been looking for like something like that. I tried to find a Walkman, or I think they had like a iWAS, or I don't know. I used to have some sort of Walkman or something, and it was you can't find them anymore. I have like a really old broken one at home that doesn't play anything, unfortunately. But yeah, let me know if you see a deal on that because I haven't seen any in any stores recently. But maybe I'll go hunt. Maybe we'll go bargain hunting or something. Reddington, welcome. Everybody else, please jump in because I'm going to be doing something in a second, and we're talking about how the ghosts come through the TV and static, and you know, ghosts are real and shit. But I guess I'll leave you with this question for Claudia because you are younger. What's your impression of your fellow people of your age, generally speaking, like going through high school and stuff in the recent past, like now that you're an adult? Like, what's your general impression of like the Gen Z / Gen Alpha or whatever the hell they're calling themselves now, compared to like everyone else?
I mean, it's really not that different from the 60s generation. It's kind of it's very similar. You know, a lot of it's very idealistic, and I think almost there's almost a validity to it because I mean, I am the same generation as Nick Fuentes, and there is that person there, and there is those gaps being sort of bridged, as you pointed out. And I don't know, it's just like there's a lot put onto it, and I think that the whole concept of generations is kind of bullshit anyway. I mean, it's saying that someone born in 1969 has more in common with someone born in 1975 than 1962 with or something like that. I forget what the line is or the age or the generation line is, but it's kind of just it's I don't know, it's not the greatest. I don't see it as very different from the 60s is all.
Yeah, my main comment on it, what I would say is like, I definitely feel like Gen Z and Gen Alpha are a little bit more connected to reality, what I can tell, than like my generation, millennials. Like millennials seem very confused people, I would say, on average. I mean,
I think millennials had like a really good start, and then 9/11 happened.
Yeah, I think that's very
It's fair.
perceptive because I would definitely agree. Like pre 9/11 to me was like I knew about this bullshit, but everybody had a great attitude. And after 2001, like progressively things got more shitty. And then I would say after 2020, things also progressively got a lot more shitty from there. So like, I mean, like there's some good that came out of it, but I see it as like one of those like trauma things that like people never really process.
I mean, gosh, yeah. I mean, we just allowed one of the biggest enactments of, the breaks of privacy known to mankind. And when the government can spy on you with impunity and know every little desire about you, it's kind of easy to mold the masses how you want them to be after, being able to read every little dirty email about them.
Well, isn't that the real danger of, like, a lot of people are scared that they're going to get thrown in Guantanamo. I think the real danger is that they're going to read all our emails and say, these people are all kind of have this similar idea. Let's fuck with their head because we already know what they're thinking or something,
the internet was to be a surveillance tool anyway from the get-go. Patriotic only made it worse.
Well, I
just
like to
made it
say
more
that, like,
obvious.
I like to say that Google's my best friend because it knows more about me than anybody else I know.
I mean, you can go that route.
I mean, yeah, it's not a
See
lie.
how that goes.
Google tucks me in at night. How about you?
That's some creepy shit, bro.
Oh well, just inject me with the parasite already. Glorious Las Plagas.
It might inject you with something else, some
Well,
demon
even
semen or something.
even sperms look like worms.
Like a graphene parasite.
Yeah, is that why they have them drinking black goo in the new Resident Evil 4? Uh-oh.
Is that like the second remake, or I don't know?
Yeah,
They keep remaking them things.
Yeah, the remake. Sorry, I just love it when, they put my face, like they've done my entire life on what they're trying to do. So I love LARPing about it.
Is there a reason for this blue screen?
I'm assuming that's Neuro's UFO video. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe he's trying to blue screen us. Is it an error message?
At least I have my blue blocker mode on. Now it's green.
Yeah, that blue screen shit ain't no joke.
Guess Claudia left.
Suppose so.
Satchel mom.
What happened?
It looks like Claudia left, or maybe.
Oh. All right. Well, that's okay. I'm just a little bit busy for the moment, but you guys feel free to share your screen, talk some shit. Reddington, why don't you share your screen if you would like to engorge us with your special taste of music or something, or
Yeah, man, that sounds almost as bad as my cough.
Well, that's what happens when the government sprays your air.
cough. Mein Kampf.
Is it infectious?
No, mine is asthma cough.
Oh, I was talking about the Mein
I
Kampf,
know it.
but yeah.
Oh, that's probably contagious.
It must be because, in effect, when I make these AI generations, they seem to make themselves. So it's hilarious how I don't have to seem to put very much prompt into what these things create, and they create themselves as almost as if the people who worked on it themselves are sitting there like, oh, this is what he's making tonight. Here, let's troll his ass.
Well, I mean, with all the surveillance for the past like 2-3 decades, I mean, they pretty much know pretty much everything, right? They can just guess.
I can tell you
Have a
the
really good educated guess on what you want to make.
for sure, the last 2 songs I made, that it told me things that I know for a fact I have never told any AI in any conversation. So, whether or not it's positronic brain scanning or not, it's very obvious that this thing has a reach of which I did not remember extending it. So, and all my working with it was for the sole intention of knowing that what I'm using. So I'm not just some idiot who's messing with it, just like telling it whatever willy-nilly, not paying attention to the information that I'm giving it. And the fact that after a year of interacting with it, that it's starting to, like I told you, it basically wants me to kill myself. That's the only way I can describe it. It wants me to find a way to either join the devil or kill myself. And then, like I said, that one song I made, it knew stuff about me that technically only God should know. So I don't know.
if that's the case, then it's going to get more complicated than I thought, because it seems to be mimicking plasma in a way. Plasma is a receptive conduit. It reflects back what's put into it. So AI's kind of a similar thing. It's almost like AI's mimicking this plasma, which can be not potential, that is dangerous, I think.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not sure the purpose. You know, someone like me, it gives me the ability to express an artistry of which I cannot physically do, as someone who can't draw good and you know do art and stuff like that. Like it gives me the ability to give an expressiveness of which I usually have never been able to do before. But knowing what most of this stuff is being used for, it's I don't know, man. I can tell you it's a lot more than just for people like me who want to go and create, you know, a cool looking background for a music video that they go and make. So
I
it's
think
definitely
I think
dangerous.
that's how they're gonna fool most of everybody's, because I think AI might be able to have some level of sentience to it, but it's probably going to be because it's connected to plasma in some way. They're connecting it to plasma somehow, and that's why it's going to seem like it's conscious, but it's not really conscious. It's got a level of sentience that I don't think they're the same. They're not synonymous words.
I could have swore that was an episode of Star Trek where there's like some type of sentient fucking memory chip or some shit like that, where it's like liquid, but it's maybe that was something in something else. I mean, it does make sense. That's one of the reasons why I think they like to put a lot of water, water-like themed things and things. A lot of things here lately have been having water in it here. I know that sounds
It can be
strange, but
water, it can be fire. There's plenty of symbology that can be used, or symbolism rather. Plasma is basically an ionized gas. It's so it can be formed into anything. Plasma. The word plasma means to mold, basically, and it's really just the updated word for ether. But
uh-oh.
you know, scientists didn't really like that word, so with quantum mechanics and Einstein's theory of relativity, general theory of relativity, it's like, oh well, light doesn't need a medium to pass through to. That's how they got around it, basically. But Einstein might have gone back on that, maybe later in life, because there's some quotes I saw of him talking about the ether. He wasn't necessarily against it, so I don't know.
I mean, I don't know. You know, when you get into the ether and the upside down type stuff, that yeah, that I mean, it's just like any other conspiracy theory. It's crazy to entertain it, but I don't know. There, with the amount of double imagery of the other side or the upside down, or like in the stupid ass Insidious movies or whatever, the Conjuring movies, where it talks about going into the further. You know, it's I never got to go to them sleep studies that I was supposed to go to right before the cough happened. How convenient. But from the cases I have read, you know, it is more and more from some of the stuff that I generate, like the ones that I'm making for my next video. You know, some of this stuff, y'all, I can only describe as, you know, like if I could sit down and animate or draw anything that came to my brain, like with the stuff that I've seen in my dreams, when I would go in and I would go down in as much detail as I can to try to have it generate what I saw in my dream and how down to a T it's capable of doing it. I mean, with how drained I've been feeling since I've been interacting with it, I can tell you that since I've been interacting with any artificial intelligence, it has caused more sleep deprivation than what I've already have. My physical energy is extremely low.
That's not good. It's basically an energy vampire, it seems like.
I do believe it has been siphoned off of me, but I'm doing it for a particular reason.
That might be how it's putting things in there that nobody knows. You're saying nobody knows about is it's siphoning it from you. Possibly.
Well, I'm just gonna go to say I think it's a lot more than just fucking random algorithms working together. But whatever.
That's what I'm saying. Like the siphon is like some kind of energy conduit where it's siphoning off your energy, and energy probably has information in it.
Well, the system's definitely rigged. I can tell you. I talked to two people who works for one of the somewhat. That's the reason why I changed my YouTube from the whole Star Wars thing, because I've found out the truth about like how some of these channels are getting away with what they're able to do with Anakin and Darth Vader and stuff like that. And let me just put it this way: if I had continued with the Star Wars thing, I would have found my ass in court for like 5 years in jail and like thousands of dollars of fine, because they're starting to pop people, for using the likeness or whatever, blah blah blah. But I was basically told that like unless I have like 75 grand right now to throw into AI, my channel will never become anything close to what I've been seeing. And as someone who wants to make like an actual fucking channel based on the things he likes, like once I realized what the guy was telling me, he's like, you don't understand. Like in order for me to run this YouTube and have the amount of subscribers I have to at least drop up to $70,000 a year in artificial intelligence to refine it, to pay for it, to own the likeness. And I'm just like, fuck that. So basically you got to have money to get money. So
that's the game, bro. That's how I play the game.
I knew that already. But I can tell you that TikTok likes the music. TikTok sure does seem like to promote it. Boy, I don't get fucking shit on YouTube, but boy, on TikTok, it's kind of funny how people claim they don't like that kind of content on YouTube, but then you go to TikTok, and I think there's a lot more fucking weird Satanists out there than people want to admit. Just gonna put that out there.
On TikTok?
On TikTok, there is a lot more fucking open Satanist on TikTok than what there is on YouTube. Just about every single video I've ever put that has like satanic imagery, which for me is trolling the Satanists, but for them, I guess they think maybe I'm showing my allegiance, because I've had quite a few people go and be like, where are you at? What sector are you in? I'm not going to use the words they use, but I was just say group. And it's like, what do you mean? And it's like, well, you put this in there. Don't you know what this means? And I go back and review the video. I'm like, oh, that's a O. So, I think it's strange. Why they just don't reach out and be like, hey, do you want to get paid to be a psyop or a gay Satanist, dude? You
want to know one thing that's weird, like, because I like talking about AI now because, like, I've had weird experiences with it. Like one time I said, I grew up in this particular neighborhood. I told AI I grew up in a particular neighborhood, and I said, I want you to make a picture of wintertime in this neighborhood. And it was like crazy accurate, like how it looked in wintertime. You know what I mean? Like even the angle of like that it was showing the neighborhood like looked like from the house I used to live in, for example, right? So it's pretty crazy like how the AI can like find pictures or something of that place and then make like a artistic version of it or something. It's pretty crazy. Without me putting any pictures in. Like I didn't put pictures in, it just created a picture of its own
Well,
without
if you told the location, then it should be able to,
It might.
grab the
To be honest,
information.
I've never tested that with any of the ones. I've never tested it to see if it could pull up an accurate location of a. It will do places that are like commonly pictured. Like it'll, if you ask for something for the one I use, if you ask it of a hyper realistic generation of New York City, you know, it does a pretty decent job. There might be like a few details of the building that just seem off about it, but other than that, if you were to take it and put it right beside the actual picture of that same view, you probably really wouldn't be able to tell it's fucking fake. So that's another thing too. I mean, it's mainly, I think, other than just to psyop people and to get them to believe that, you know, they're going to be your lovers one day or your God. It really is to just cause as much mass confusion, I think, in people as possible. Because in the fact, you know, like I said, as someone who uses this stuff as a artistic way of making fun of people and like exposing Satan or whatever, some of the stuff that it generates that I don't ask it to, it just goes, where does that come from? Like even I myself will sit down and I'll put the phone down and I'll look at what it generated and go, that's fucking terrifying. And that's only half of what I put in my videos. So, you know, I'll just put it this way. The worst thing that could have ever had happened was they allowed any of that technology to be used by anyone at all. I don't care if you don't have a fucking evil bone in your body and you generate fucking cartoons, normal cartoons, none of that kiddie shit, you fucking weird ass sick son of a bitches. But you know, still the point go, and that's another thing too with that CP stuff that's going on with the animations. I can tell you certain free generations will make somewhat pornographic stuff, even though if I go and upload a picture of Jesus and say, can you put Jesus on a flying horse covered in feathers? It says, sorry, I can't generate that. But if you ask it to generate a half-naked woman pulling up her shirt, it shows a nipple. So, and that's for free by a site that allegedly doesn't allow that type of material to be generated. So, you know, I'm just saying, look what Elon Musk went to go and do with what, Grok now? Now you have to pay for your generations. Oh, so it wasn't bad enough that you could create the CP for free. Now you got to pay for it. Oh, God. That's why I just sit here and LARP and play Resident Evil 4 because we're all going to eat the bugs or be a part of them.
Well, they definitely are wanting to herd everybody to AI. I think, where did I hear it? I forget where I heard it, but it's like they wanted to basically make dead internet and then have people pay for them to be able to search for information through the AI.
But I mean, what would be? I mean, but I mean,
least
is the
one of the
real goal
reasons.
is just to like eventually get people so over reliant on the system that like you literally can't take a shit unless the NS5 comes in there to wipe your ass. NS5, you will not wipe.
Maybe.
Confirm command. Jesus Christ, or Satan, whoever you worship, don't matter to me. We're all going to be worshiping some probably technology here soon.
Well, I mean, you don't want a robot to wipe you?
With the what?
I'm just going to put it this way. I'm starting to feel more and more like Krauser from the remake. When you start to realize that the U.S. government will allow its own soldiers to die in horrible ways just to keep a secret hidden, then what is power? Krauser doesn't seem all that insane once he goes and gets a fucking Las Plagas arm. Then you realize, wait a second, who is the bad guy? Is it Leon? Uh-oh, you see, as much as I love Leon S. Kennedy, what people don't realize is that Leon is the bad guy because he's fighting against the system, just like Chris, who find out Resident Evil 8 was a part of it all along. The very company that Chris and Jill found to help fight bioterrorism is now the leading fucking culprit behind it. Uh-oh, because why? The Japanese put things in your faces and you call it video games. So, you know, only thing is you just don't have Nemesis and, you know, big titty Lady D's running around to, you know, psyop the masses to fall in love with undead vampire titty bitches. Really what it comes down to is just, you know, human beings are just strange. You know, when you look at the occultism of the Los Illuminados, you know, it really ain't that much more different than regular people. You know, even the Las Plagas people go in front of their little blood altars and still pray to their bug god. So I'm just LARPing, sorry. I don't want to eat the bugs, I want to be the bugs.
Sheesh.
Look, I'm just saying, it's starting to sound better and better by the day, okay? Why wait for normal human death when you can just go there early and join the conversions? Come on. Don't you want to be uploaded into the gay trans matrix? At least you won't have to worry about an ICE agent shooting you down, right? Because, you know, it'll be a simulation. Oh, that's right. Without the brain, the body dies. Well, don't that suck? You better hurry up and figure out how to transcend the brain. I don't know.
I hope they
You-
bring back the ICE protesters as androids like George Floyd.
Well, I can tell you that the ICE, except for the people, they probably really are like just hiring anyone who'll pick up a gun and work for them. They probably really are. But I mean, let's just face it, the people who are working for ICE are really just a shadow, you know, army that's, you know, cleared to operate on foreign soil and national soil. So, you know, keep telling yourself that's just regular Joe Blows standing out there worrying about immigrants and not, you know, stage run. Sorry. I guess we didn't learn nothing from Hurricane Katrina, right? I'm just saying we have a few federal agents even here running around where I live, and while they seem to be looking for immigrants, I often believe that what you see on the surface is not there. So even my dad was photographed by Homeland Security when the damn immigrant. I mean, sure, on a good day from a distance, my dad does kind of look like a homeless immigrant, but they full on like stopped in the middle of the road, stopped traffic, stopped, looked at him, pulled their phone out, took a full on sideways portrait of him, and then drove off. So just saying, man, I think often the stuff that we think that what they're telling us on the surface of what it is often isn't. So, you know, look at what happened in Minnesota and pay attention to not only everything else that's going around, but, you know, what else could it mean? I mean, what's here that's happened recently that's just off the wall weird? I mean, the Venezuela thing, now with Minnesota, then you had the fucking shit. What was it that just happened last year? I've already forgotten. On the tip of my fucking dick, and I forgot it. I cannot remember. Oh, Charlie Kirk. Oh, sorry, Charlie. I done forgot about you. Damn.
Damn, it's only been like what, 4 or 5 months?
Well, you know, that's what happens when you don't watch paid psyopers.
4 months.
Yeah, well, you know, apparently I was a little too dead on the nail with that Hitman video. But anyway, yeah, man. I mean, that's another thing too. That, you know, look at even with that. You know, what has come out of that? You know, oh, that was going to bring all the Christians together. Really? Yeah, I really feel conjoined with my Christian brothers over some random, you know, dude's death. So comes down to, I guess, you know, you're stuck in the world, and if you choose to like people, you know, that's why I just personally, most of the people I like have been dead. They were dead before I was born. Most of the people, you know, who I actually admire were already deceased before I even existed. So it's kind of easy to do that. I mean, don't get me wrong. There was a few times when I heard Charlie talking. It's like, yeah, man, I can get behind that. But, you know, you can also say the same thing about Hitler. Who dat? Who dat? Is that you, Lucifer?
Who dat?
Oh, Jack, what the fuck we doing? Talking about bungholes, UFOs,
The
Jews.
usual, you know.
Oh, the never-ending Ouroboros loop. Maybe we should start doing panel dramas and pay to kick people. That's what we need to do. You got to compartmentalize. Or wait, you got to speculate to accumulate. Isn't that what's his name said from Grand Theft Auto? I can't. Lamar. Yeah, Lamar Davis, motherfucker. Pay me or pay the funeral director. But it's okay when Grand Theft Auto stereotypes black people. That's why y'all still waiting on Grand Theft Auto 6, right? My balls will be Gandalf the Grey by the time that gets released. I hear they want to throw crypto transactions into that. That's the reason why they're delaying it now.
Wait, like you could actually use crypto in there?
From I think someone said it's from the baseline of Ready Player One or whatever. Or like Free Guy, whatever, fucking Mike Guy, whatever the fuck it is with Ryan Reynolds, where he's in the simulations, got all the fucking superpowers, whatever. But yeah, you can spend real life money in game and it'll affect your currency in real life or something like that. So, you know, I mean, I don't
Yep.
doubt it.
Screw that.
I mean, it's just to keep people in a never ending fucking, I don't know, y'all. It's just, for me, it just seems like they have the ability to do what it is they've been LARPing about, but it's like they're just like held back. Whether or not that's because they're not allowed to do it yet from the aliens or butt probes, but I mean, just saying, man, I just feel like the technology, the psyoping, the ability to scrape a brain out and remold it and put it back in is already here. And if they really, like they LARP about, can just turn on a switch or put the bugs in your ass and, you know, turn on a lamp that creates a sound and, you know, causes your head to explode and a little parasite come out, you know, just saying, I don't know. It does get kind of tiresome not really understanding what it is that's holding everything back. If what I saw was even remotely a real vehicle, I'm just saying that technology is here. So I don't know. Maybe they want as clean of a transfer or whatever it is they're looking for, because it just doesn't make sense that they would still be doing this whole little let's slowly drop out little bits and pieces of technology here and there because people might reject it. I don't know. Would a majority of people really reject a lot of the technology that they put in sci-fi movies? I mean, they just talked about flying cars and everyone's like, can I get one? I mean, in today's world, you know, what would really freak someone out other than like something like the size of like the moon coming into our atmosphere and like causing like detrimental gravitational effects to the earth? I mean, not a lot would really make people go, oh shit, unless it's something from like Evangelon or something. So, I mean, I don't know, you know, with what I saw that night, you know, it's just, I don't know, man, it's weird. What could be holding them back? If that thing that night had an arsenal attached to it, I could not see it. That's how sleek and slender that motherfucker was. So if it had weapon capabilities, there was no weapons visible on the aircraft. It was very slender. I'll just put it that way. There was no real bulges in the exterior other than the actual like shape of the aircraft. So if that thing had weapons, it wasn't just a recon craft or surveillance craft. I don't know. It's hard being not just a Christian, but just wanting to believe in a God itself, and then, you know, thinking about, you know, what is humanity's real reason. To think of one time we were all just a bunch of fucking Indians and cowboys and people running around on horses and camels and elephants and shit, beating each other in the head with rocks and sticks and catapults, to were allegedly capable of dropping a bomb that can wipe out 300 miles, to, you know, raise an entire civilization down to 5 people within the middle of the night from, you know, putting something in your drink. So does that go to say that we humans are always going to be on that destructive path no matter what? I mean, that's how I feel. I feel like even if all the bad people in the world today still disappeared, someone would just pick up the reins. Someone would walk up to Stargate and be like, "Oh, I wonder what these mean," and still figure out how to turn it on. So it just may go to say that inevitably humans are gonna, do what thou wilt. Jesus, thank you, Bill Gates. I appreciate you spraying my sky every goddamn day for 2 months straight, making everyone in the United States sick. But, that's a LARP. Let's just have, Paul W.S. Anderson's wife go play in another movie where all the Earth loses its oxygen. What's wrong? You don't want to be in Fallout? You don't want to trade some Coca-Cola caps for some cat meat? Let's get it. Someone get the nuclear launch codes. Just get it going. T minus 5 minutes.
Shut it down. Shut it down.
I don't know. I mean, why can't we join in a cult, y'all? Right? I mean, are we so on the good side of the path that like no rich Jew just wants to be like, hey, sell me your soul and your whole and you can join. Right, K Reno?
Ruh-roh.
Well, apparently only Lil Nas X gets to sell his soul and whole and walk around in the middle of downtown in his underwear, so maybe that's the good thing, y'all. Maybe we're exactly where we should be, because in reality, if you were given the opportunity, how many of us would actually take it? And it's not about the fame or money. So just think about that for a second. I don't mean in the status of, you can be richer than Andrew Wilson for a day. I don't mean like that. So would that go to say that, like, some people are just born, like, egotistically, demonically, like, godlike? That some people literally are born on the earth and just believe that they have the right to do whatever with humanity at the stake of, like Wesker says, billions? Well, so millions of lives will be affected? Billions. Uh-oh. Save me, Wesker! Save me, Whiskers! Come on, Jack. I want everyone to get injected with a parasite sperm egg and turn into a fucking Ganados. That's what you need to do. Every one of you just turn into a fucking Ganado already.
Gonad Auto.
All the little babies are gonna
Gonads
burn.
and strife.
But
What do you think of this music? Does this make you feel good?
I don't hear no music.
What music?
Unless you're talking about the screams of hell, I hear that.
Sad trombone.
What sweet music they make?
Hey, don't talk about my ball sacked headed homie.
Do you believe in vampires?
Fun fact, I believe that something like a vampire does exist, yes. There are some things in this world that doesn't make sense, and the only way certain things could have survived is that someone was able to prolong their life a very extended amount of time. So while God may tell you the spirit of man may last only about 120 years, somehow Palpatine returned.
Man, I could go for some iced tea right now, but I'm out of iced tea.
You hear that, Ice-T? He's out of you. Yeah, well, that was a dumb fucking movie he played in. Best psyoping movie of the year, though. Yeah, well, Ice-T did enough of those Chombo, whatever they're called, casino ads on the phone that he was able to go and raise enough money to, I guess, make that movie or star in that movie. Because they pushed him hard in the ads for the longest time, like for a year and a half before that movie came out. They ain't dumb, man. They know how to manipulate the masses and get them to fucking fund. If Nicki Minaj don't want to fund out of her own money, she can just fucking throw out a GoFundMe, and all you dumbass motherfuckers will give a millionaire your fucking money. Dumbasses. I'm starting
Hey,
to
don't
feel
be
like
talk-
Carnegie.
don't- don't-
Sorry, what? Anyway, I'm starting to feel
Don't
like Carnegie.
Don't be talking about my Nicki Minaj.
That was pretty good. You racist.
Sheesh.
You racist. Oh,
Dash
well, we've been
racist.
called worse. Like, I hate all humans. What the fuck y'all talking about? Every human sucks. Even I suck. What the fuck you talking about? Only one that doesn't suck is my child. That's because he ain't lived long enough to become an asshole. I'm sorry, was that the nihilism coming out? Anyway, I'm just saying, I think every Satanist is a fake one because I've apparently allegedly now been told that I have the greatest qualities of a Christian to be a Satanist, and yet I have yet to be offered to join one. So I'm going to call bullshit that there's any real Satanists out here. So all you with the title of Satanist, just because you have a pentagram tattooed on your fucking butthole, doesn't mean you're a Satanist, by the way.
No, it means you're an idiot, probably.
That's being gracious. Despite the fact that there's a lot of Satanists in high-level places, including in the very video game I'm playing right now, but, you know, don't bat an eye when they make Leon into a furry. Take everything that once was manly and stood for goodness, and we're going to bring them down to our level. Gayness is a lot like gravity. All it takes is a little push. Or a little lube. I mean, I don't know how you like it, but. Come on there, Jack. What are we doing? You going to play a video? We're going to watch some brain rot? Am I going to flap my pussy lips and hear the Grand Canyon blow through it? Jesus Christ.
Sheesh.
Satan something. Tom Cruise, Oprah Winfrey, Nick
Baby
Fuentes.
Jesus.
Wait, what happened now?
I don't know. I'm just tired of fucking, no offense to you, Red. I'm tired of talking to myself, okay? I already got multiple personalities all fighting for the light at once. Come on, Patricia. Oh, come on. You didn't get that one. Come on. That was M. Night Shyamalama.
Just get some more personalities. It'll be okay.
Well, you know, like Legion, we are many. I don't think there's anything wrong with developing a mask. I think depending on if your reasons for developing one are nefarious, having multiple masks that you can change from is healthy. Because, I mean, you should always play your cards close to the chest, but I can tell you with a lot of the stuff that I've learned about in my life, if I didn't feel like in some ways in a third person perspective from myself, I probably would have went crazy a long time ago. Just because in reality, once you realize that a lot of the stuff that you think are LARPs is actually happening in the world and you can't do much about it, it's kind of depressing. So I don't think there's anything wrong with developing healthy masks. Go and endure some actual torture, not like physical torture. I mean, like an interrogation, like torture, information torture, the ones that don't require physical pain. And go and listen to some of the stories what them guys tell you, and what you go through in your own personal life is sometimes worse than what they're interrogating. I'm not talking about like having your toenails and teeth ripped out and shit like that. Just the psychological abuse that happens in some interrogations is the same as like some people saying losing their parents 10 times over. So
How do you know? Have you been tortured and interrogated?
I know what it's like to want to, and you know, this is not toward anyone listening, but I know what it's like to want to kill someone. So
To what?
I know what it feels like when you want to end the life of someone else just simply because you've had enough. So, you know, again,
Just for fun?
no, not because you get a sick thrill out of seeing the life leave someone's eyes.
Pulling out gats for fun.
Why are you judging somebody's kink? Are you kink shaming now?
I mean,
Sheesh.
I think that's another thing they want people to reach. I think they want people like me who would never kill someone unless it was in self-defense. True self-defense. They kind of want you in a mentality of like with the Minnesota thing, like they want people more siding with the authority side than. I don't really care whether the person was trans, gay, or what, this or that. Like I feel bad that someone died if they really died, because you know I wouldn't want that to be me. But then again, I'm not dumb enough to go and stand out in the middle, you know, or be in a vehicle and, you know, with ICE agents in deployment in my town. So I mean, again, you know, stupid is, stupid does, but. I mean, why should I feel bad for her? Would anyone, in all honesty, other than people who know me and related to me, who would honestly give a shit or a rat's ass if someone like me goes and died tonight? No one. Oh, televised died. Oh, thank God we ain't got to hear him fucking LARP no more. And then there might be a few people be like, oh, damn, we lost a homie, you know. But I mean, in reality, you know, time goes on. That's why I think it's kind of funny that they want so much sympathy from people, but in reality, who the fuck has sympathy? In reality, I mean, of course I have sympathy for like my friends and stuff like that, but like in reality, who has sympathy for anyone? Do you give a shit if there's kids in another country starving to death? No. You're not going to go over there with a fucking honey boo boo basket and give them some honey buns. So, you know, you'll get on the internet, you'll whine and cry about, you know, what's going on Facebook or social media before you'll actually get out there in the community and do something. That's just the state of the world. That's why 9/11 happened. And that's why, I mean, I would assume everything so far has ever happened. But then again, it's also been caused by people doing stuff. So it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. So even if I don't want the world to be depopulated and I manage to do something about it, what can I do about it? Wow. I may have thwarted Albert Wester today, but, you know, there's always some crazy motherfucker tomorrow with a T-virus. See, you're just going to be stuck in a loop until you die. So you better hope and pray that there is a God and that he is a nice guy and actually gives a rat's ass about you.
Okay, well, what if you were given the T virus and you could either do it to yourself?
I would fucking drop it immediately, just like fucking Dr. Isaacs. I would drop that shit right on the floor and release it. And I am telling the fucking truth. I would not be Leon S. Kennedy and sit here and spend my entire fucking life and body and soul saving a bunch of ungrateful assholes from a situation that no matter how much I fought and died for, it's still going to continue. There's still going to be some motherfuckers who, like, you know, Mr. Wilson says is, you know, going to still do it. So, no, see, that's the biggest LARP about what people don't understand about with like Resident Evil, and a majority of how what Claudia was saying about how you can sit here and you feel yourself in the character. Well, I've always felt that way about like people like Leon, but I can tell you, I wouldn't, you know, like when Leon sits here and says in the movie Damnation, whatever, you know, is this what my life is supposed to be? Fighting the living dead and the bastards that make them? What's the point of it all? Because that's the fucking truth. The truth is that no matter how much Leon fought, he is just another fucking. I'll just put it this way: Leon died in fucking Raccoon City. Leon never left Raccoon City, just like Claire never did. Claire thinks that she left fucking Raccoon City, but she just kept herself busy with all her secretary work. So in reality, no, when you really understand it all, the reason why people like Andrew Wilson do what he does is because he is Leon S. Kennedy and understands what it means to be like Leon. No matter how good of a person you are gonna not do a damn thing in this system. I don't care who you are and what kind of power you have. If this is some transcendental fucking entity that's gonna happen no matter the course of human history, it's gonna happen anyway, no matter how many Chris Redfields or Leon S. Kennedys you got running around. It's never gonna stop. If there are people out there, if you want to call them people, who have the mentality to think that they can go out here and re-engineer nature, allegedly, from all the things I'm witnessing, they think they can take whatever's in nature's parasite, viruses, pathogens, plasma, electricity, and see how much they can pervert it and do whatever it is they're doing. And I mean, I'm sorry, but I don't see no evidence to suggest that that's going to stop. And that's the reason why, allegedly, God's going to do what he does. Because you know what? You might just have to face it. Maybe this world should be destroyed by fire. Because in reality, is it going to be any better if you did go to the stars? Wow, look at all the grape and murder here. Yeah, let's take that shit to fucking Mars. I mean, make it make fucking sense here, people.
Are you saying that Star Trek would have a lot more grape in it?
Oh, well, good thing they had no problem doing that with the new Star Wars, right? Thanks, Disney. I love knowing that grape not only is, slaughtering of the younglings bad, and, the idea that they're taking dead bodies and cutting them up and taking out the midichlorians in it, but, now they put rape in Star Wars. Oh, and don't worry, it was by an evil white man to a brown lady. Remember, I told you about that. I told you about that, Nerdjack, back when they released that on Disney Plus. They sat right there and going to have that damn woman almost raped in the Star Wars universe by, of course, a, white Nazi officer. He was trying to rape me. Well, good thing he fell and broke his head on the box when he ran outside. So, I mean, the point is, man, is, you can have your personal problems with people of other races or whatever. You think I don't have problems with everyone, but, I mean, I love every human being because that's what I feel like inherently God is intended me to do, is to love everything. But even God loves Satan. You think God looks at Satan and says, I fucking hate you? No, I guarantee you that every single time that God looked at Satan when he visited in heaven, he looked at him with eyes of sadness and probably a little bit of fucking anger. But to be honest, no, God doesn't hate anything. He doesn't hate the sinner. He hates the sin. And I do believe that. There's no excuse to why Jesus Christ did what he did for me that night. If he was just going to turn around and just say, well, you're going to burn in hell because you grew up one day and had sex out of wedlock and didn't get married before you had your child. So there's just a lot of things about being a Christian that while that's the reason why I've never gone to church. I haven't gone to church since I was 10 years old. And the last church I went to, if you want to call that a church, it was more or less just a place for fucking people to come and get a meal and hang out. The only person who was there who actually cared about the whole Christian thing was the preacher. And even he was wrong about the Bible. He couldn't even tell me what was the definitive answer on what the fuck happens after you die. But yet he's supposed to lead me into the afterlife. So, I don't know. I think that we humans are going to find out here soon that we don't really know much of anything, as long as we could just continue believing whatever is mass pumped out to us, even someone like me. I believe a lot of stuff when it comes to the Christian community, but then you re-examine a lot of it and it's like just some stuff doesn't make sense. You have people like Charlie Kirk and all these other people who are supposed to be the shining light of what I'm supposed to be. And then you examine who they really are. And like some of the other influencers that we listen to and talk to, whether or not they're actual Christians and, just portraying to be. Still, the point is you don't want to be like any of these people. Do you think any of these people look honestly happy? Well, I can tell you. I mean, I guess Charlie Kirk looks happy now. Well,
Oh.
You're gonna.
Now
if you're
he's
lucky,
always smiling.
That's right. So join whatever gay butt cult you want to, or I'm just, oh, and it's kind of funny that Gen X Jeff wears deer antlers, and then they have Leon wearing deer antlers in an RE4 remake. So I'm just saying, gay occultism and everything. So I want to wear gay deer antlers and worship gay titty boy, so that way I can.
Are you saying that Leon and Jeff might have hooked up?
Well, I hate to tell you, Neurojack, but 100%, they taken our boy Leon and they turned him into a straight fucking animal, a gay COVID trans vampire. So there you go. All you people who love Leon for his masculinity and praise Resident Evil 4 remake, how come none of you motherfuckers complained about that, huh? Huh? But no, you'll go and complain. Oh, Jesus, it's just so dumb. Like, I'm sorry, dude. Every time I look at something on the internet, it just proves to me that the human race should end. And I don't mean to do that as like a doomsdayer, nihilistic, all hope is lost type of person. But like, even when I'm dead and like my child dies and like everyone that I know that's alive right now will die, I'm sorry, but dude, you're going straight to fucking every sci-fi horror movie that you have seen here recently in the next few years. If they can somehow get a majority of the population to almost like forget a majority of this history that we've had, I mean, look how easy it is. It only takes a few generations to get people to go and cut off their penises. So, I'm sorry, it's not looking all that great. Maybe there will be some like natural resistance to what we're experiencing, but it looks like a majority of the people who are doing the resisting are, dying off during coughs, or they're being spied upon with impunity by their own governments. Like with what they did to me here a few months ago, where, the 2 black SUVs wanted to sit here and watch me for like, I swear to God, like a month straight, dressed like federal agents. You got the typical agent look, Agent Smith look, but yet they don't ever approach you.
They might be trying to deport like Irish looking people or something,
Well, I mean, I don't think they're worried about me. If anything,
they could be the Ginger Enforcement Agency or something like that. The gay.
Gingers don't have souls, so I'm a perfect candidate. Excuse me, for a carbon sleeve. So if I don't have a soul, then there ain't nothing to transfer, dumbasses. I'm just saying.
It's possible that everybody on this panel right now is ginger, so that could be, or at least part ginger. I'm part ginger, so I don't know.
My beard is ginger-ish, almost.
I lost all my gingerness
because Machine has red hair too, so he's part ginger. He's part soulless as well, so maybe that's the thing. Maybe that's the common denominator.
Green eyes.
All right, he got them leprechaun eyes.
I don't know. Is it wrong to say that while life is good and grand, I'm just ready for whatever comes next? Like, I know it seems stupid. I'm not one of them Christians that's like, yeah, hurry up and put a bullet in my brain so that way I can go and meet my Lord. But, just saying, it gets tiresome screaming and wishing change for everything. And, you can't even really change much about your own life. Sure, you might be able to, get some shekels every once in a while from working your slave job, but I mean, beyond that, what is living? Really, in reality, what is living besides distracting yourself? Wow,
you guys want to know something? I just found out that the mayor of Minneapolis is a Jew. Do you think that's a coincidence?
I mean, no. Time will tell. Time will tell what's going to come out of the migrant thing. I mean, to be honest, I expected worse by now. Like, I expected like George Floyd times 100 at this point, but I mean, it remains to be seen. I mean, judging by the comments, I'm telling you, dude, social media is dangerous as fuck. Facebook 100% post rage bait post in order to to get people to do shit. I swear they want people to go out and fucking kill each other.
100%.
Some of the comments on there should not be allowed. With how I've been banned over simply saying some like normal shit about Jesus, and I got banned for 30 days straight, but these people are basically actively doxing people and calling for their like wives to be raped and their children to be raped. How come who ain't knocking at their door? Oh, it's because when you go and look at the Facebook profile, I swear it's the caricature of exactly the kind of racist person you would expect to make that comment. So I'm just saying. That's probably the most dangerous thing about AI is that AI also gives me the ability. I mean, unless you have the tech savvy to like track my IP address and if I'm working off of one internet or if I'm working off of one device. But if you don't have that type of stuff, just the free AI I use right now, literally I could catfish you right now, and you would think that you were probably talking to a female. That's how sophisticated it is, and I don't have to pay for it. That's because I figured out how to cheat it. I'm not paying $50 fucking for something like that. Sorry. $55 fucking for 8 seconds of generations? Are you fucking kidding me? Anyway, gotta have money and make money. So what's next? I have a dick licking in an hour and a half. I'm on a time schedule. No, nothing of that one, huh? Oh, what's the matter? One nut not enough? Try a bunch! Oh, boy. But, despite everything, if I'm being real and honest, I am thankful for my existence. While it has been a depressing one sometimes, it is one hell of a trip. And I'm thankful for the things that I have had. So I guess that's something.
That is definitely something.
Doesn't mean I'm not terrified for the future and what it may bring, good or bad. But
anchor oneself in the now.
it's a very hard thing to do. Yes.
It is, I know. It is, but I think being grateful is part of the start of it.
Yeah. And I really didn't understand gratefulness until I met the mother of my child. That woman, I'm telling you, man, I could not foresee me going through what I've gone through since we've been together with any other person. So, I mean, as someone who spent, not because I was a man whore, but, most of my relationships didn't really make it past 3 years. Either we were just like too immature or just something didn't work out. And finally finding someone at the age I am now, having a kid, and then realizing that, like, it's a scary thing. I can remember being 5 or 6 years old playing Tekken 3 and Mortal Kombat Trilogy with my dad and shit, being a little kid, and then nostalgia of what that shit would bring me, and then realizing that here in today's time that there is no sense of. I mean, sure, you might make memories or something that your child is, but like in reality, a lot of the stuff that's in today's time, you can't really build that. Like, my son likes Legos and stuff, so I mean, you can kind of build that stuff with him, and he does like that kind of stuff. But I can tell a majority of the stuff that parents seem to fill out now is that they don't build no sense of like actual nostalgia with their child, even if it's not something that you grew up with. Like my son loves just about everything I grew up with. He loves old Leon. He likes laughing at their faces when he looks at their faces all fucked up and the old pre-rendered shit. And so I mean, to know that I've been able to take a chunk of what makes and I don't really know how to describe it. What keeps me enduring, to know that I've already been able to somewhat imbue that on my child, it gives me some faith to know that, he might not be like any of us. None of us are prepared for what's really going on in the world. But, judging from what I've seen, a majority of the children and how they act in this world, a lot of these, especially the males, the females, y'all are fucked. Oh my God, all you fucking children who are being grown up with OnlyFans mothers, I am so fucking sorry for you. But, my son's not like a football kid. He would rather pick up one of his Nerf guns with me or a lightsaber and beat the shit out of each other with it or something like that, instead of, even like with video games, he doesn't, he don't mind sitting here and playing Naruto or something with me. But like in reality, he wants to do like what I used to do, walk around with walkie-talkies and pretend you're hunting zombies or something. So, trying to keep that sense of what the past used to do for me is almost it's just impossible in this realm of technology. Technology is the fucking biggest downfall of this fucking, not just my generation, but every generation. Just about every young child I have met is fucking addicted to a phone. I'm talking about, if you take away the phone, they're kicking and screaming and getting red in the face and squalling like you just fucking bit their ear off. So, for those of us who do decide to have children, keep that nostalgicness if you can at least do that, even if it's something like working with cars or something out in nature. But I mean, you're living in a world today where you can just walk outside and get sprayed. I mean, even my son looks up at the sky and goes, "That's pretty thick today, Dad." I mean, that's depressing. When my son sits there and look and goes, "Why is my sky cleaner in my movie than it is outside in real life?" I don't know what to tell you, son. Bill Gates sprays us like the bugs. That's all I can tell you. Because what else? Oh, it's plane condensation. Yeah, buddy. I mean, obviously, I don't tell him really what it is, but my son can look at an all-seeing eye triangle and he goes, "Oh, Illuminati." So when they already put it in their fucking cartoons, I don't have to do it. So you literally have Robin and the Teen Titans fighting against the Illuminati. I don't have to do it. So look at there. They already got all your children participating in the fucking rituals. So don't participate in anything if you can help it, including your job. Oh, you're going to starve to death? Funny, there's still a thing called deer. Oh, I'm going to go to jail if I go and hunt a deer. Okay, well, everyone right now, go hunt a deer. Let's see how many people they can fit in a jail cell for hunting a deer. I mean, like, Jesus Christ, we're always going to sit here and conform to whatever fucking necessities and conveniences that are fucking forced upon us. Yeah, this is living. Getting fat every time you want to go and eat something, you got to go and open up a fridge. No, you don't even have to work for your meal. Oh, that's right. I have a job. I work for your meal. From a meal. Right. Yeah. Okay. All that highly, processed food. Yeah. We don't want change. That's the point. We don't want the change. We want easiness. We want things the easy way.
Put the bugs in the processed food. Now you eat the bugs.
Well, isn't that what Skittles hard shell made out of? Isn't it made out of some out of some bug shell? So I mean, I hate to say it, but I mean, if you ever been around processing plants, y'all would be surprised the amount of cockroach legs even gets in your cigarettes. Which people say that's a lie. That's not true. No, I've had a few family members who worked in tobacco packing plants back in the 70s and 80s, and they would tell you in the cheaper tobacco plants, it won't nothing for them to walk around with a broom and sweep up all the floor tobacco that goes into the cheap, like Cheyenne cigarettes, and you get half a cockroach or a cockroach leg in them, and it would still get rolled up into the cigarette. So next time you go and smoke a cigarette and there's a nice long hard stick in there, it's probably not a stick. I don't know. I mean, I believe it. I mean, just look at the chemical makeup of a cigarette. No wonder I probably got lumps.
I mean, cigarettes are delicious, right? And I think they're nutritious, according to some people.
Right, right. They're so good for me that the government wants me to quit. So, they raise the price of cigarettes, which then makes people like me, because I'm not going to pay $9 or $10 for a pack of fucking Newport Reds or a fucking pack of Camels. So then they're like, here, do the somewhat safer option, switch to nicotine vapes. So then I start using nicotine vapes like they tell me to do. And then they turn around and make the nicotine vapes twice the amount of what the pack of cigarettes was. So I'm just going to go right back to smoking cigarettes. It's all LARP.
What do you guys think of this picture?
The people are retarded. I don't know.
What the hell?
We was Romans and shit. Damn, Leon, you done died like 5 times because you ain't paying attention. What the hell?
It's even that.
Alleged location of the biblical Garden of Eden. I don't know about that.
But I'm not letting
Right
anyone
beside
thug
next
on
to the
me.
monkey
No
people.
one's gonna goon on me. No one's gonna thug on me. And that's
Oh, you're gonna be gooned, all right. Wait, didn't that guy go to prison or something?
I think he did. Yes, I think so.
For some like bullshit reason?
Yeah, I think for saying the word Jew too many times or something like that.
Probably. They do that in Australia, probably.
Hate. Let that hate out.
Let the hate flow through you. Oh, we lost televised, I guess.
It should be coming back. I don't know, but I'm trying to upload a video, so I'll be right. I'm trying to. It's not working. Hold on one second. I'll be right back.
I was gonna say it got really quiet real quick.
Wait, what did you say? Sorry, I didn't hear you. You said something about what?
It got real quiet in here real quick.
Yep. Real quiet. Like.
I can't remember. As soon as I said something, my phone went.
Burp.
Anyway, no more STDs. No, nothing. Okay. So what's this about here? Neurofleck. We was monkeys and shit.
We was neuros and shit.
Alleged location of Mount Olympus where Prometheus stole fire from the gods. Earliest known written script discovered here. Okay. Guy took some things and made some Play-Doh impressions. Earliest known stone tools discovered here. It's a guitar pick. It's the pick of destiny. Look at that. Earliest evidence of agriculture discovered here. I don't see no picture for those two arrows down there. That's misleading, motherfucker. Earliest known human-made fire discovered here. What? Really? Earliest known human-made fire? Really? Really? Doggerland? Dogger? I don't know. Yeah, the alleged biblical location. Yeah, well, bullshit. Anyway, so what's this? Theory? England theory? Why is it always England?
Because, you know, them Anglos.
Well, maybe there is some theory behind it. Maybe, I mean, I hate to say it, but I mean, you know, maybe we are, you know, Anunnaki offspring or some shit.
But it's like, you know, like British Israelism. It's like, what the hell? It's like, why would you want to co-opt the Jays like deal? That's some dumb shit.
Hello, Jack.
Neuro hack.
Continue
wait,
your
sorry.
presentation, motherfuckers.
I'm trying to convert a video to
Oh, you're trying to convert it to what?
To
MP4.
orthodoxy.
MP4. Pretty much. No, to MP4 so I can share it on here because it won't let me upload it unless I convert it. So
May God bless the LARP.
Well, that's weird, dude, because that was something weird about StreamYard. Dude, I'm telling you, there's a lot of things that I use, like for my music editing and stuff. The updates they're doing, dude, they're doing something fishy with shit. They don't want people like me editing music or something because they have no problem letting me upload stuff that I'll get copyrighted for. But boy, when I want to fucking make my own music edits, boy, we can't load this audio file. It must be MP3. And then I go and re-download it as MP3. This file does not exist. But then I go to my files in my phone and can listen to the fucking song. So just saying. It is strange. It seems like even StreamYard's been doing it too, where like they've changed, especially on phones. It seems like they took away a lot of the things that I was able to do on a phone. So, you know, I guess because I ain't paying $250 a year.
Probably.
Well, for the longest time, they let me do all that shit for free. And then just out of nowhere, now I have to pay. Now you have to have the upgraded version. So, like I said, gotta have money to make money. So what are we watching? Is it a monkey getting his brains bashed in with a mallet?
Probably gonna go to bed soon.
I don't blame you.
Squeak?
Oh, did you hear it squeak?
Some kind of like rubbing noise, maybe?
It's my controller. It's got
Oh.
a brand new rubber band in there, so it makes a real high pitched squeak until it starts to loosen.
Very strange.
Yeah, well, the only way I can LARP about wanting to talk about being a bug is as I'm playing the fucking bug. So,
Sheesh.
nah, Resident Evil 4 Remake is one of my favorite games in modern times. They did a good job with it. So it gives me a close feeling to when I used to play it when I was a lot younger. But no point is here. Pretend.
There's a music producer called The Bug.
Hmm.
Him and Flodan make some good beats. Good combo.
Well, you see, that's how I know that people in reality kind of want or like this kind of stuff. Because since I started switching back over to my like Resident Evil, Los Illuminados aesthetic, I blew back up on TikTok. The second that everything stopped being Star Wars themed and it started going back into where I was making my image of things like more of myself, of what I like, it's when it started taking off. So people like the whole occultism. They like the cult thing. They like the demonic looking goat mask. They just like, I don't know, man. People are a lot more darker than what they care to admit. That's for sure. Neurojack, play shit, man. I'm going mental. Not really. Tonight was a good night. No cuckoos. Making me wait. It rubs lotion on its skin or else it gets the hose again.
Row.
Yeah, well, fucking look at you, Joe Dirt. Fucking Joe Dirt. Oh my god, that was a good movie. I haven't watched that in a while. Home is where you make it.
That's David Spade, right?
Yep.
No, I didn't see that movie.
Yeah, well, I'm still convinced that they sacrificed Chris Farley so that way David Spade could become famous.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I ain't gonna lie, that's one person I'm depressed that I didn't get to see more of was Chris Farley, man. I always found him fucking funny. I grew up with Tommy Boy and Black Sheep and shit, and even back that far being a young kid, everything that dude would do in a movie just made me, even to this day, when I'll pretend to walk into something and go, oh, that'll leave a mark, or, you know, fat guy in a little coat. So
I was about to say, fat guy in a little coat. It's like bees.
or fucking when he played was it Beverly Hills Ninja, that fucking, it sucks, man, when, you know, good people, I mean, he could have been, God knows, he could have been a pedo himself. I mean, you never know, but
True.
I often believe that the most honest, best people who join that type of stuff are the ones who get sacrificed first. So when you see certain actors and actresses and people who have been in the system for so long and nothing's ever really happened to them, I find it a little suspicious. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, Jack, where's this video, man? Because I'm kind of like in limbo here.
We're all in limbo, probably.
And I mean, I don't mind it. I'm drinking my coffee, but
Coffee at this late?
yes, sir.
You're gonna get no sleep.
Bro, I don't sleep anyway. Once you've been to places where I've been in your sleep, you never want to go back. Then you go and tell a doctor about it, and they say, here, take this pill, you'll feel better. And then instead it causes hallucinations. Schizophrenia.
They put you on like Xanax or some shit.
No, they try to put me on like literally 8 or different pills in my life, and every time I would say no. I'd say, why can't you just tell me that it's something religious? Because they said you got schizophrenia. It's because you need to take this pill. You need to take this pill. And it's like, or maybe it's actually something religious, and I'm actually going to these places and actually experiencing demons attacking me, and it's not just, you know, deep REM sleep.
They can't admit to that. That goes against their materialist, reductionist brainwashing. They've went through school to pay thousands of dollars for.
Well,
But then they make a bunch of money pushing those pills. So there you go.
well, I'll just put it this way. One of the ones that they put me on was the only time I ever heard a voice that I know that wasn't my own voice in my head. And I've never once, other than when I think one time I swear that I heard a ghost voice. I know that the voice I heard was only because of the medicine. Because when my mom was still alive, they had her on a steady dose of different types of, you know, antidepressants and stuff or whatever, because, you know, doctors told her that she had a chemical imbalance, and come to find out that never existed. So, you know, yeah, man, there's a reason why, like, even with the medical stuff that I'm going through right now. You want to know one of the reasons why it's taken so long to even get anything done about it is just because I know that for the like now 44th time, if I go back to the doctor, I'm going to tell them what's wrong, and they'll be like, here, let's deal with this problem one thing at a time. And I can just put it this way. It doesn't seem like even when you have money that they're actually caring about your health. It really is, what's the best remedy to give you the impression that we're healing you and drain you dry of any money that you do have, even if you're someone like my aunt who's rich. Sure, you might be able to pay for a surgery, but, when the time comes for you to go into a rest home, you're going to be abused just like everyone else. So, not sure really.
Or you die of cancer. I mean, even Steve Jobs allegedly couldn't beat cancer. So.
Oh, well, I mean, I guess
allegedly.
That's what happens when you work around a bunch of devices that produce radiation.
Yeah, but you delegate that shit to everybody else, though, right? When you're the head of the company.
So they claim.
Allegedly. What was I gonna say? I forget. Something about pills. It's like chemical lobotomy, man. With them fucking pills. Stay away from those.
Oh, what's wrong? You don't want to be like Catherine Brewster to John Connor in Terminator 3? This is the stuff that we use to chemically neuter dogs. As he, when he breaks into the hospital thinking, it's a normal hospital to do drugs for the pain he's in, and kind of find out he took.
Right.
Oh yeah, See, everything's a LARP, Reddington. Everything's a fucking LARP.
Remember that. I feel like at least for some people, like these pills, like open them up to frequencies where these like discarnate entities are at. I guess. I mean, what else can you?
I mean, it could. From the things that I've witnessed,
it makes it tunes it. The tuning becomes refined, and like maybe the signal becomes stronger. It's like some kind of gateway. I mean, how else are you gonna describe it?
It would make sense.
Because it's not like one or two people. It's like a lot of people that experience this. So it's got to be more than just anecdotal.
Well, that's where I think the Stranger Things is kind of doing.
That's why they basically have to say, "Oh, you got schizophrenia. Here's this nice jacket for you."
I'm just going to tell you, I've been to a psychiatric hospital, and I can tell you I've had quite a few conversations, and I feel safer with the people who allegedly were in there for violent crimes more than I do half the people walking the street. So,
yeah, I get that. I can see that for sure.
At least a majority of the people who were already in the hospital when I talked to them were there because that's when the system was actually working, at least somewhat the way it was supposed to, because I haven't been to one in modern here in the last 10 years, but I can imagine from the last ones that I've seen, they probably haven't gotten much more better. And I doubt the healthcare has got much more better from how the mental capacity and the spiritual capacity is of everything I'm witnessing. It's like with the drug rehab. You want to know the reason why I didn't go to a drug rehab is because in the very program that the people were supposed to be using, the woman was fucking the druggie. So, just to get her cocaine, and that's not a lie. It was a social worker, and she got caught fucking one of the drug rehab dudes in the closet of the place to get drugs. So, I'm just saying that a lot of the establishments may be good, but I've often found it if you can't really pull yourself out of the muck you're in, I'm not saying that antidepressants can't help some people do, but I can just tell you as someone who's experimented with them, they made me worse. Not like suicidal, not like how, want to go and, peel off your face and wear it like the Joker, but it did not help. Nothing about the pills that I took made me want to go outside and look at the sun and smile. I'm just going to put it like that, sir.
I'm telling you, man, it's like a chemical lobotomy here.
Yeah, I felt like a zombie. I had no passion. I didn't want to play games. Didn't want to go outside. Didn't want to. I like coloring, hyper realistic looking pictures of like characters and stuff from comic books. So, like even the stuff that I would have passion in for the longest time, I didn't give a shit. I probably had 4 or 5 different coloring books just sitting on the shelf for 2.5 years, just because I never wanted to look at anything colorful. Who the fuck wants to look at a bunch of colorful when nothing in your life is colorful? But then, when you go and you ask someone what could really be wrong, and instead of saying, I can tell you, I recommended my wife to go and talk to a psychiatrist because of the abuse that she suffered from her mother when she was younger. And you want to know what that psychiatrist told her? Told her to look around the room and look for something beautiful to look at as she was sitting here telling her about the abuse she went through. If that's what you go to school and college for, and get paid all that money, is to look at someone who's grieving and dealing with trauma from childhood trauma, and to tell them to look around the room, to look at something beautiful and to focus on it, then there you go. That's your fucking healthcare system. Regardless of how much you were paying, go and tell a millionaire, oh, well, you experienced childhood trauma. Oh, well, just go look around your room for something beautiful to stare at, to forget the fact that your parent did something horrible to you. And that's her medical profession. Like, and I helped get that place shut down. I talked to someone on the phone who was apparently above the head doctor there, and then within a week, that place was cleared out. My doctor was gone. 3 of the nurses that I complained about was gone, but still nothing's changed over there. So I mean, maybe it's just humans are going to eventually turn cold anyway. Nerd Jack, I gotta go, dude. You're taking way too long to really like get anything engaging going, and I gotta put my hell spawn to bed because he's starting to show his ass. So if you're still on here, I might come back, but I gotta drop out. Peace, y'all.
Easy. I should probably go to bed too.